Hello friends, welcome to my channel, a channel for learning simple coding. If you find this video to be helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel. In last video we understand how to create client component, server component, what is the difference between client component and server component, how to use client component within a server component. I have explained each and every concept in the last video. Now in class number 22, we are going to understand global versus inline CSS in Next.js. So what is inline CSS, what is global CSS, how to use global and inline CSS in Next.js, and why cannot we use internal CSS in Next.js, that we are going to understand. So go to the VS Code, and here I have already opened this contact us. So within this contact us link, I will show the use of inline and global CSS. So inline CSS, for example, in this H2, I want to set the color of this contact us as a blue or green, any color if want to set. By default is a black color. So how I can do this? So I say here like a style, remember, and within a style I put this curly brackets also, then again one time more curly brackets, two times we need curly brackets, and here I say color equal to, and under this double quotes I say blue, for example blue color, and I say save. Like this we have to put color, and here color, and then we have a color is blue. Like this we have to put, and if you see this, you see the color has been changed to blue. If I want to give some margin from the left side, so I can say comma, and I say margin from the left side, and I say that margin is, I say 20 pixel. So I can pass this like this also, like this margin left, like this we have to put. Save this, or this property we have to give under the double quotes, so I say 20 pixel. Save this like that, and you will see that from the left side it's 20 pixel. I can increase more, I can say 120 pixel, and you will see that it will shift to 120 pixel toward the right side from the left. So like this you can put any number of CSS property for inline CSS, and remember that for that we have to use style. Now second one is what is global CSS and how to use inline and global. I have explained you inline CSS how to use this. Now how to use global CSS and what is global CSS, that I am going to explain. So for global CSS we have a by default file in Next.js, that is global.css. You see this file is there. Here I have included bootstrap also, and if some other tag you want to use or some other classes or ID you want to use for CSS, you can create your own here also. So for that, suppose I say the color of h3 tag should be like this. Color should be, I say it should be violet blue, blue violet, like this, semicolon, like this, remember this. And I say the text of this should be toward the center, so I say center alignment for this. And I say the font of this should be font family, so I say that should be Arial, so I put Arial, only Arial I want to put here, you see, like this. And I say color is change, center is change, and Arial is change, so means this is global CSS, and this CSS automatically apply to this page also, or any number of page it is apply. So suppose I create here h3, remember h3 tag, and here I say this is example of global CSS, like this, and I save this, and you will see that this is example of global CSS. That means automatically it goes to center, and remember that in this component I am not importing this, it's a global CSS. By default it is inside this layout. If you go for the layout, this one, under the layout we have this global CSS imported here. So globally it is inserted in each and every component of Next.js. So automatically this about us page also have this setting. So whenever we write here, it automatically reflect this, and we can use bootstrap also, because I have inserted bootstrap also here. So I can use bootstrap CSS also, or I can use my own CSS globally for h3. Like h3 we can use h2 also, remember this is the h2, so I can create property for h2 also, like I say I say H2, remember H2, and I say color of this H2 should be I say red, and I say text alignment should be toward the right side, and I say font family should be Vardhana, we can say Vardhana, and all are remaining. I'm deleting this. Font is Vardhana for H2. Remember that if you see the output here, so this is going toward the right side, but color is, remember this is H2, but the color of this is blue, and margin I told left side, from left side it's a 120 pixel. So all these are also running, all these are also applied, but you see the color is blue. Why? Because these two CSS working together. Like this, inline is also working and external is also working. So at a time, if I want to override the setting of this global H2, this global H2 is there. So everybody knows, if you have a knowledge of CSS, that global CSS have a less priority against inline CSS. So if I want to override all the rule of global CSS, I make inline CSS. So in this inline CSS, I set the color to blue. That's why the color is blue right now, not a red, but all the other setting is applied. But if I remove here the color from here, remember I remove a color from here, I save this, and you will see that automatically it become to red because the global setting is applied. Now this global red color is applied to this. So if I want to override, means I don't want red color, so I can say color should be blue, color should be blue, like this, and I save this. So I can override the rule of global CSS, and you see now the color is blue. Remember, inline CSS we use like this, and global CSS we have global.css file, or we can create one more file as a global, and we can use that global file within a layout, import in a layout, and it will become global. So any number of global CSS you can use, any number of file you can create for global, any number of style you can use. So you see that what is inline CSS? Means the CSS which we apply by using a style tag. It is called inline CSS. Global CSS, the CSS which we write in a separate file and we import in a layout, that we can use as a global CSS. And how to use global CSS and inline CSS, I have given you the example for that inline CSS have more weightage over global CSS. So any rule I can override by using inline CSS, otherwise global CSS property will be applied. One more thing that we have to understand, why we cannot use internal CSS in Next.js. Remember that the coding which we are using here, these coding is not HTML coding, these are JSX coding, JavaScript XML. So this JavaScript XML does not support this style tag. Remember, this style tag is supported in as normal HTML, but here this style tag is not supported within Next.js. Remember this. If I write here something like H2 and I put some CSS here, I say color equal to yellow, like this, so it is error. You see, it would not run and it will generate error. So it is not possible to put style set within this because it's not a normal HTML, it is JSX. So JSX does not support a style tag separately. That's why this Next.js does not support internal CSS. Remember that. Only two kind of CSS is applied, inline CSS and global CSS. So internal CSS is not applied in Next.js here, only applied in HTML, normal HTML or JavaScript program. I think you understand now how to use inline CSS and how to use global CSS, and you also understand that what is inline and global CSS and why we cannot use internal CSS, because JSX does not support style tag. That's why Next.js is not able to use internal CSS within Next.js code. Remember this. In next video we will see the modular CSS and how we can use modular CSS in Next.js, and what is the difference between normal CSS means global and inline CSS, or what is the difference between the modular and the normal CSS, that we are going to learn in the next video. So I think you understand now global and inline CSS from this video. If you like it, please do subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.